Hello! It's been a long time since we've done a video. In fact, it's been 2 months. The reason why we didn't do a video last month is we were about to leave on one of our wonderful LARP adventures, our nerdy things where we get dressed up as Warhammer characters and then you go hit people in a forest somewhere for a bit. We haven't been able to do one of those because of the whole COVID thing for ages. And we had one all organised and we were going to go to it. And then Melbourne got a big bunch of cases and we all locked down again, so we were kind of like, well, shit. And that's why we didn't do a video, because we kind of spent like a good week moping around instead, going, oh, we're never going to be able to go do things anymore we want to do. Oh, I don't want to work on the game, I don't want to make a video. So we didn't do a video, but we're doing a video this month. Hello. Welcome to Just Make Game. You might remember that I had the introduction level built in, but it didn't have collision meshes working correctly. Sort of the level that you first hit to actually just go into the dungeon. It's not something that's super necessary, but it helps build the world, and it helps bridge the gap between that intro that we created ages ago, which is all in that lovely restricted colour palette. It's all blues and oranges. To this level, which is much the same, and then you go through to the actual game, which has a bit of colour to it. So I've spent a bit of time working on the actual collision for that. The collision basically has to work totally differently to what it does in the randomly generated levels, because the randomly generated levels are on a big, large grid, pretty obviously, you know, and each one is this big, and then you got collision with those walls and all that sort of thing. Whereas with the intro level, we basically made it from a large image. We drew it all first and then had to work out collision afterwards. So I basically made another image with little red boxes everywhere, basically using pixels to just mass off bits that you can't actually go through. And then I had to use math to work out where that actually goes in relation to other things. But it works. It took way longer than I'd like to admit to actually get it working, but it works. When it's loads here and finally compiles, I will show you. Okay, so here it is. You saw this last month, but last month I was just walking through the walls. Or 2 months ago, I suppose. But now it all works, and I can't go walking through the map. I get blocked by things. And then dun, 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 and you go through to the actual dungeon. Ta-da!
Ooh.
Amazing. Amazing. Other things I've done is I've basically put in all of the different player sprites that we have, all the different player characters. I think there's 16 or something. There's a lot. They're all in the game now, as opposed to just running around as the soldier. And I am currently doing the character select menu for them. It doesn't work right now. It's I should probably blur that out. It doesn't totally work right now, but it'll be a picture of the guy here, and then his stats, and then his weapons, and all that sort of thing. And then you go back, but we're just going to continue. But yes, so you can get everyone in now. They'll all be unlocked as you play the game and things like that. Some of them are behind like achievements. Most of them aren't. Most of them are just like, you've played the game once, here's 4 more dudes, and it's like, oh, you've died 3 times, here's a bunch of other stuff, you know how it works. But yeah, so they're all in there. They all have the ability to be gated and behind your save and that sort of thing, and a thing changes and then they unlock. Usual jazz, so that'll be in soon. And then, well, really, it's getting pretty close, to be honest. I have to put in the other levels that we've got the tile sets for. I have to actually make them generate, make sure they generate right, which should be okay. I don't know, I'll find out when I go to do it and realise that we're missing a bunch of tiles, and then probably have to do those immediately and realise that whatever idea we had didn't work. But that's usual sort of stuff, you know. We've had quite a bit of work on music that lovely John has been working on. File image here. Oh yeah, he's done lots of work on music. This is all sort of still in production and that sort of thing, but there's heaps of it and it's all sounding great. I'll give you a couple of snippets now with just some gameplay footage behind it or whatever. Here, this is music. And yeah, apart from that, I mean, that's kind of about it on my side of it. Next up, I really have to get those other levels in, but as soon as they're in, they're kind of in, they work, like the collision and everything for them is going to work because it's all pre-built. Same with populating it all with objects, because that's all done, so it knows where you can put things based on what's there. So it's more just actually getting those other tile sets in and making sure the top of the level, top of the walls goes on the right bit and looks right when you're generating it, all that sort of stuff. They'll have different types of layout, so some of them will favour more open levels and more closed off ones and things like that. But that's like so easy to change in the actual code for it. You just go level openness equals 10 and you get a more open level sort of thing. A tutorial level dungeon thing, it will be built shortly. That will be done the same way as the boss arenas were that you might have seen in the last video, where I basically just draw out a map and then it fills it in, and then I put things in it where it needs to go, like a guide that constantly shoots a thing at you that teaches you how to roll, things like that. And yeah, and then probably main thing that really needs to be done is lots of work needs to be done on the god. He's in and he does things, but he only does a few things, and he doesn't really have much rhyme or reason for what he does, so I've got to go in and actually really, just spend probably a good 2 months on just his behaviour, and getting him fun, but still involved in what you're doing, and making sure he isn't a pain in the ass, because last thing you want is the main sort of mechanic of your game being irritating.
Hi everyone! Alright, so I have just been working on some more sprites. So I really tried to jump back into the game design document and just sort out what enemy sprites still needed doing. One thing that I have learned from this is, back when we did the game design document, I had all these great ideas for enemies, and I basically boiled them down to a line of text. Now, we did that a couple of years ago now, so that line of text, it's hard to remember what we were thinking when we were coming up with those enemies. So I've just been going back and trying to get those sorted and work out exactly what we still need to put in the game. Still need to do some boss designs, so that will be happening shortly. We've still got a couple of those to do, and probably some more animations for the god, because all that stuff's not quite nailed down yet. So, sprites that I have done, so a few more enemy sprites. I'm just gonna show you them. That's a really nice frame. I like that.
What the hell is this?
Alright. There we go. There's its walk cycle. We got an attack. Oh, he's got teeth. Now he's just a worm. Your pain. You got your death. You've got an enemy. So this one's kind of cool because it's one of those ones you might not immediately notice crawling along the ground towards you until comes and bites you. So there is that one. There is, starting on the death animation there. We've got this, I don't know, green fella with a limp. I really like his. Right, there's its idol. Really like his attack. So that's of course going to have the attack smear that goes down. But I just really like how his little feet move around there. The death for that one. And this one's pretty cute and disturbing. So again, the attack's gonna have the attack smear. That's the pain.
Jesus Christ, it's like some Jacob's Ladder shit. But
Yeah.
with a fucking, like, a frozen chicken or something.
I really like the idol for this one as well. The idol's not going to get a lot of use, but, you know, we'll chuck it in there. Mike might have to do some nice puffs of dirt kind of thing happening
Lovely.
there. Like, I'll put that on list of things for me to learn for next game.
Particle effects.
Yeah. A little bit of technical art. Yeah. And a death.
It's hideous.
Yeah, it's definitely hideous. That's what I've been working on. Trying to come up with enemy designs from a line of text that I wrote several years ago. Yeah, and just making sure they still fit in with the game. Because, you know, as much as you have a game design document, things shift slightly.
Never. Never. Stay 100% true to the document.
They're rigid and inflexible.
Yes. You heard of agile development? Well, this is rigid development. Alright. You got anything else?
That's it.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Alright. What you doing next? Probably more of the same.
More of the same? Yes. Probably more of the same.
Yay.
I am gonna help with the characters that Mike is putting in the select screen for. They need like a little bit of text to go with them, a little bit of flavor text for them. So I'll help write those. And yeah. More sprites.
Kill. Lovely. Sprites.
Love sprites.
Love sprites.
Love making the sprites.
Yeah. Oi. Love sprites. Right, that's it. Go on, get out. Go on, get out of here.
This episode of Just Make Game presented in Batesy Vision.
Major funding for this episode of Just Make Game was provided by Vin Hill, Tyler Heil, Roman Kovalev, Philip Sparks, Norbert Kylan, Max Windsor, Kurt Wagner, Jono, Jason Tom Lee, Ivan Makarovich, Evan N. Connor Bowen, Charlie Harper, Ben Kersnovsky, Batesy, Alan Pask, and viewers like you.
That's it. Bye.
let me tell you about the fish. Hey, where you going, man? Let me tell you about the fish. Where you going, man? Got a story for you. Hey, where you going, man? It's a story about a fish. Where you going, man? I want an apple pie. Where you going, man? Bring pie to me. Where you going, man? A pie and ice cream. Where you going, man? Bring it to me. Where you going, man? Hey, thanks for the pie. Where you going, man? Let me tell you about the fish. Where you going, man? Can I borrow $5? Where you going, man? Where you going, man?